daily fantasy. His number too high, then I'm probably fading him. He been on the road, he gon' eat up my salary. I hit a buy, he go live before lock. Play back to back, then I probably won't pick on the DFS bachelor. Good as it gets. Bit a few liners, then hit me a leg. He had a good game, but that might be a trick. Log in the Slack so I know who to pick. Sharing our liners, we all gon' get rich. New to this game, you should come to the pad. You might want some cash and get a good laugh. DFS sports, we gon' run up a bag. He heard every game and it's making me mad. You buying your lineups, I think you a cheater. DFS bachelor, he the new leader. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the Bachelor Pad. I, of course, am your host of DFS Bachelor, and we're going to go over our Fanduel and Draftkings NBA picks for Friday, January 24th. It is a 10-game slate, which is certainly better than 12 and certainly better than 1. So there we go. So it's going to be like top 4, top 5 at each position that we like early this morning. Again, on these 10-game slates, especially on Fridays, and I don't think a ton of back-to-backs. I don't think any back-to-backs, actually, tonight. So, but there's going to be a lot of news, etc. Follow me on Twitter at DFS Bachelor. Throughout the day, as the news comes out, it will be up there on the Twitter feed, and you can rest assured there will be a bunch of it. I'm sure someone that we like early this morning will be out for whatever ungodly reason tonight. So it's just something to keep an eye on. Also, thank you. First things first. I guess that's not really the first thing. Someone pointed that out, but it's just a habit that I have. I mean, I'm getting old, decrepit. What are you going to do? Thank you, seriously, for all your support. I truly appreciate you all. I know it's been kind of an erratic schedule the last month and a half or so, so I appreciate you guys sticking with me there. And, of course, we were in YouTube jail for a little bit, which is always fun. So I appreciate you all. Cheers to you all. Grab a coffee and Bailey's. Enjoy the show. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the team. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Get access to all of our content. We have our Fanduel Draftkings NBA video, of course, we're doing right now. Our Fantasy Draft NBA video. Those are up Monday through Friday. And I'm even going to do some videos tomorrow for the weekend slate as well. Of course, we will cover the Super Bowl and have that single game video as well. So lots of content. Hit subscribe. I truly appreciate that. Also, by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and leaving a comment in the comment section, you qualify for our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. That is sponsored by Draft Dashboard. We announce our winner every Monday morning. Draft Dashboards, where we're going over all the stats, usage, value, points per minute, points per dollar, hit percentage based on their minutes and points per minute, history versus the team as a cheat sheet, lineup optimizer, mass lineup generator, cash game lineup optimizer, which has been really successful, and my player pool. You can get access to all the research, the tools for every sport, as well as my player pool, simply by clicking that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. Window licker of the night is Tristan Kardashian, no doubt about it. That's right, we're calling that SOB in terms of fantasy. Tristan Kardashian until he can man up and put up a good game. A 9.1 against Washington, absolutely pathetic. So Tristan Kardashian, a.k.a. Tristan Thompson, you are the absolute window licker of the night. Thank you so much for that, you son of a bitch. Anyways, I digress. Let's get started. So at the top at point guard, we got Russell Westbrook. He's 10-4 on both sides. Minnesota 18th against opposing point guards. In his last 4 games against Minnesota, 57, 54, 61, and a 61. His last 4 games overall, he's been absolutely red hot, nothing less than a 60. He's kind of switched roles with James Harden a little bit there. Both players are certainly in play. We'll get to James Harden in a moment, but I do like Russell Westbrook. A little bit expensive, but I think there's plenty of value on this slate where you'll be able to pay up for him. Next, we're still waiting on the Trae Young information, obviously. Next, Chris Paul against Atlanta. 7-5 on Fanduel, 7-4 on DraftKings. Atlanta 24th against opposing point guards. A 41 and a 39 in his last 2 games against Atlanta. And 4 of his last 5, he has at least a 38 or above. In 3 of those games, he has a 47, a 44, and a 50. Paced up game, bad defense, at home. I like Chris Paul a lot today. Next, especially on FanDuel, where he is just absolutely way too cheap coming off one of his worst games of the year, I like Ricky Rubio. He is 5-7 on FanDuel. That is way too cheap. He's 7-3 on DraftKings. That brings me a bit of pause there. You can see he's got a 73% chance at hitting value at that price on FanDuel, only a 57% chance at hitting that price on DraftKings. In his last 5 games against San Antonio, nothing less than a 32. He's got a 33, a 52, a 38, a couple 32s. San Antonio 26th against opposing point guards. Sign me up for some Ricky Rubio. For some value, there's a few guys. If Jeff Teague is indeed out, or excuse me, if Trae Young is indeed out tonight, then Jeff Teague becomes a fine option at 4-4 on Fanduel, 4-8 on DraftKings. But we already have news that Malcolm Brogdon's out. I like TJ McConnell. Golden State allowing the most points in the league right now to opposing point guards. He's 4-2 on Fanduel, 4-9 on DraftKings. His last couple of games, a 32, a 42. TJ McConnell has legit got me a 50 before at like 3-5. Now, it was a couple years ago when he was with Philly against the Knicks, etc. But nonetheless, there is some upside there. And keep an eye on Reggie Jackson. Came back from that injury. His first game back, he played 19 minutes, put up a 37. I expect the minutes to increase. I think he's a deal right now. Memphis 21st against opposing point guards. And more importantly, Memphis plays at a fast pace, extra possessions, etc. I like the paced-up matchup for Reggie Jackson tonight as well. Let's go over to shooting guards. At shooting guard, of course, James Harden's in play. He's got 100-point upside every night. Minnesota is no defense to be afraid of. He's 10-8 on FanDuel. He's 11-1 on DraftKings. So you're saving money with Westbrook with, equivalent type upside. But of course, James Harden's in play every night, and I do start to think that his ownership is going to start reducing as he struggles. You could see his last 5 games. He's only got a couple of games over 50. Now, I know a 44, a 51, a 49, a 59, that sounds great, but for the price that he's at, you're really looking for him to be in the 60s or 70s. The usage, of course, is going to be there. His last 5 games against Minnesota, only 1 game under a 50. He does have a 60 in that time frame. I, of course, like James Harden in every slate. Next, probably my favorite shooting guard tonight is SGA. He's 8K on FanDuel, 7-8 on DraftKings, which is nice because not a lot of players lately are cheaper on DraftKings than they are on FanDuel. So if you can find that player, DraftKings pricing has been very, very stingy as of late. SGA, 8K, 7-8. Atlanta, 27th against opposing shooting guards. He's been red hot as well. His last 5 games overall, 46, a 40, a 49, a couple of 38s. I like SGA in a paced-up game against a bad Atlanta defense at home. Next, Andrew Wiggins. Now, Houston, 29th against opposing shooting guards. He's going to play small forward where they allow a ton of points to small forwards as well. He'll play all wing positions, of course. He's 6-8 on FanDuel, 7K on DraftKings. He's hit or miss. So you can look at his last 5 games. He has 3 games in the 20s and 2 games in the 40s. So you're hoping for that 40-point upside. Again, Houston, not good defensively on the wing. Both teams play at a nice pace. So this should be a high-scoring game. I believe it's the highest total on the slate tonight at 234.5. So I'd like to have as much of this game as I possibly can. So especially if you're Westbrook in it or Harden in it. Is that title of the sex tape? I'm not sure. But Andrew Wiggins is a good tournament play. Sort of boomer bust, but he definitely has that 50-point upside against Houston. Then we got a couple value guys. Jeremy Lamb. Look, I know he has been absolutely terrible. Jeremy Lamb is a frustrating player. Look at his last 3 games, a 5, a 24, and a 14. But he's going to see the minutes. He's 4-4 on both sites. We know he has 40-point upside. In his last 3 games against Golden State, a 29, a 47, and a 32. So you're hoping after having these dismal games, there's a little bit of a fire lit under his ass. And that could be a sex tape title too. Nasty one. So there is some upside. It's a tournament play only, obviously. But if he goes off, you're going to be dancing all the way to the money. So I do like the value there. And Tyler Hero from Miami. He's 4-4 on FanDuel, 4-6 on DraftKings. The Clippers 13th against opposing shooting guards. No Paul George, no Patrick Beverley. So the defensive strength of the Clippers is certainly reduced. And you have Goran Dragic questionable. You have Jimmy Butler questionable. You have Kendrick Nunn questionable. So a lot of those backcourt, they could be very, very thin in the backcourt, causing Tyler Hero to have to play more minutes. You could see when he got some more minutes in that last game, he played 33 minutes. He put up a 35. There's some tournament upside there for Tyler Hero, especially with all the injuries to that Miami backcourt. Let's go to small forwards. At small forward, I do like Pascal Siakam. He's 7-3 on FanDuel, 7-7 on DraftKings, legit 50, 60-point upside. The minutes seem to be increasing. They had him on a strict minutes limit coming back from that injury, but the last game he played 34 minutes, he put up a 42. The Knicks, 22nd against opposing small forwards. In his last 3 games against the Knicks, a 38, a 51, and a 44. I do like the matchup, and if the minutes continue to increase for Siakam, I like the big-time upside. Sign me up for some of that. Next, small forward's a kind of a thin position. The pricing starts going down quickly. The talent level drops off quickly. Will Barton, I like him against New Orleans. New Orleans 10th against opposing small forwards. New Orleans plays at a much faster pace than Denver, so it's a paced-up game. Probably no Gary Harris, no Jamal Murray, Paul Millsap, Kevin Porter. Porter is all Michael Porter Jr., I should say, not Kevin Porter. That's the Cleveland Cavalier. Too many damn Porters, but they're thin. They're going to need the usage. They're going to need his scoring. He's been on a nice run. Now, the last couple of games have been, in the low 30s, but you see he does have that 50-point upside in a paced-up game against New Orleans. Sign me up for that. Next, in that OKC-Atlanta game, I like Danilo Gallinari as well. Atlanta 26th against opposing small forwards. He's 6'2 on FanDuel, 6'8 on DraftKings, 40-point upside. He's another one of those guys who's kind of hit or miss. A 30, a 41, a 40, and a 23 in his last 4 games. I mean, that kind of tells you the story there, but he does have the upside in a good matchup against a bad Atlanta defense. Sign me up for that as well. And if we're looking at some value, Justin Holiday against Golden State, I don't mind that play so much. But really down here, it's a boom or bust rookie, young guy that can get you 30 or can get you 14. That's DeAndre Hunter. He's 3-8 on FanDuel, 4-4 on DraftKings. Oklahoma City, 17th against opposing small forwards. You could see his last 5 games. He's got a 36 and a 32, but he's also got a 19, a 17, and a 14. So he's a tournament play only, but the minutes should be there. He should play in the 30. His last game, he played 36 minutes. He played 27 minutes the game before that. 30 minutes the game before that, a 52% chance at hitting value on that price on FanDuel, a 50% chance at hitting value, a 50-50 shot. And if he goes off for 30 at 3-8 and 4-4, you're pretty happy with those results. Let's go to power forwards. So, at power forward, Kawhi should play. It's not a back-to-back. I don't believe it's bingo night with his mom tonight, so he should be on the court. No Paul George, no Patrick Beverly. He's 9-8 on FanDuel. I forgot to mention Lou Williams, too, for the Clippers. Of course he's in play when there's no Paul George. He's always a tournament option. He's always super cheap on FanDuel. I'd be remiss if I did not mention him. Kawhi Leonard, though, 9-8 on FanDuel, 10-3 on DraftKings. He's been on a nice roll. His last 4 games, 3 of them over 60. The other game was a 50. Miami, 14th against opposing small forwards, power forwards. Could be no Jimmy Butler. If there's no Jimmy Butler, life becomes exponentially easier for Kawhi Leonard. A 35 and a 47 his last 2 games against him. But again, the usage rate should be there. A matchup of 2 good teams. I think Kawhi Leonard shows up. I like that he's under 10K on FanDuel. I will take a shot there. Next in that same game, Bam Adebayo, 8-1 on FanDuel, 8-2 on DraftKings. The Clippers are 20th against opposing power forwards, centers. They're not great up in the front court. Harrell off the bench, of course, and then Zubats. It's a team that's kind of JaMychal Green. Not great defensively in the front court. Bam should have his way on the boards. If he can score more than 15 points, I think the rebounds and the block shots are there where he can hit value. I do like Bam Adebayo. Right below that, LaMarcus Aldridge. 7-9 on FanDuel, 7-5 on DraftKings. Now, we have been getting him under 7K on DraftKings, which has just been simply too cheap, and we've been riding that to the money. But Phoenix, even though they're 6th against power forwards, etc., no Aaron Baines, or he's doubtful, so that hurts them defensively a ton. Of course, still no Frank Kaminsky, so you're going to see Dario Saric, maybe Czech Diallo. Cameron Johnson's also out, so they're thin in the front court. It should be a matchup that LaMarcus Aldridge can exploit. A 53, a 40, and a 40 in his last 3 games against Phoenix. Then let's go to Zion. Let's talk Zion Williamson. His first game back, he played 18 minutes, scored 17 straight points in the fourth quarter. This guy is going to be absolutely phenomenal. It's exciting to watch. You expect the minutes to start to creep up a little bit. They're not in Denver, so they're hosting Denver, which always makes playing Denver easier. He's 5-5 on FanDuel. I like that price on FanDuel. 6-4 on DraftKings, a little bit scary because you're just hoping he plays, 24, 25 minutes as they start to ramp up his workload. But if he's going to put up 1.6 fantasy points per minute, sign me up for that. Big time upside. Of course, I like some Zion Williamson. Denver, another team. No Mason Plumlee. No Paul Millsap. Possibly no Michael Porter. So they're thin in the front court. He's going to see Jeremy Grant defense, etc. Could be a spot where he could take advantage of that. And down here for some value, Eric Paschall. He's 4K on FanDuel. That's just too cheap. He's 5-3 on DraftKings. Now that's a little iffy. You could see on FanDuel he's got a 63% chance at hitting value at that price on FanDuel. Only a 46% chance at hitting that price on DraftKings. Indiana is 5th against opposing power forwards, but he's got big time upside. His last 4 games, a 27, a 37, a 44, and then a 20. So he's much safer on FanDuel. The 5-3 on DraftKings gives me a little bit of pause, but I'll still have exposure to Eric Paschall. And then way down here at 3-6, look, we just talked about how thin Phoenix is up front. Dario Saric should see the minutes if he can keep himself out of foul trouble. The Spurs are 20th against opposing power forwards. Could see he's kind of a boomer bust type guy. In his last 3 against the Spurs, he has a 15, an 18, and a 43. You're hoping for that 43, obviously. Cheap tournament dart throw play at 3-6 on FanDuel. The 4-5 price on DraftKings is okay. It's okay-ish, but he should draw the start, should see the minutes. Hopefully he can keep himself out of foul trouble. Let's go to centers. Give me one moment here. Mute button on. Very good. Drummond against Memphis, of course. 10-3 on FanDuel. He is 9-5 on DraftKings. I like that price there. Put up a 63 his last time out against Memphis. Memphis paced up game. They're 17th against opposing centers. Then you've got Jokic against New Orleans. They just don't have anyone who can guard him. What, they're going to try to play Okafor? Probably won't put Zion on him, so he's going to see Derek Favors, etc. He's 9-9 on FanDuel, 9-7 on DraftKings. New Orleans 21st against opposing centers. In his last 5 against New Orleans, a 51, a 64, a 51, a 30, which would be a disaster, of course, and a 42. Center's not the greatest position today, in my opinion, but I do like some Jokic. Next, I like DeAndre Ayton against the Spurs. Ayton has just been absolute beast since coming back from that suspension. 3 of his last 5 games overall have been 47 or above, including a 58 and a 51. His last time out against the Spurs, he put up a 47. Spurs 14th against opposing centers. Like the upside, I think he's going to play a ton of minutes with the thin front court in Phoenix. I do like some DeAndre Ayton. Probably the most underpriced center on the slate. I mean, you could argue Marc Gasol against the Knicks, but Miles Turner is 5K on FanDuel, 4-9 on DraftKings. Golden State allowing the 3rd most fantasy points in the league to opposing centers. He's got 50-point upside. Now, he's one of these guys. Look at his last 4 games. He's got a 35, a 29, and a 28, which you'll take at that price. But he's also got a 7, because that's Miles Turner, and he likes to fuck you over. That's what he likes to do. But with that kind of upside in a matchup against a Golden State team that's not great defensively in the front court, obviously, Draymond Green's not playing the kind of minutes that really super impacts what they do in the front court, as evident by their rankings here against centers. So I do like Miles Turner's price on all sites. Willie Cauley-Stein in that same game, he's another guy. Before that dreadful outing he just put up, he had 4 straight games, 25 or above. He had a 37. When you look at his last 3 against the Pacers, a 35, a 37, and a 35. The Pacers are 24th against opposing centers. He's 4-2 and 4-6. I do think Willie Cauley-Stein adds some value. And then, of course, for some value down here as well, Luke Walton finally pulled his head out of his ass and started his $40 million center that they signed in the offseason. Dwayne Dedmon, 3-7 on FanDuel, 4-6 on DraftKings, put up a 30 on DraftKings, a 27 on FanDuel in his first start since late December. He played 31 minutes. Rashawn Holmes is still out. Marvin Bagley's still out. So you would hope that he earned another start against a Bulls team that's 25th against opposing centers. More importantly, looking at his history against Chicago, taking out that last game where he was played limited minutes off the bench and only got a 13, his previous 4 games before that against the Bulls, a 33, a 47, a 33, and a 44. Dwayne Dedmon could be an excellent value play again tonight. So that's an early look at all of the positions. Again, you can get access to this tool and my complete player pool that will be updated throughout the day as news comes in, etc. The cheat sheet, etc. Use it in the lineup optimizer, mass lineup generator, etc. Simply by clicking that link in the video description below. You can try Draft Dashboard for 30 days for $1. When you do, how you find my player pool is you simply click on your Watched Players tab from the home screen or over here on the left. You'll see a blue box at the top that says Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks, as well as a timestamp of when I last updated it. So you know if an injury information comes out at 1:30 Eastern or Pacific, whatever. And you look, and I haven't updated my player pool since then. Obviously, I haven't calculated for that difference, so it kind of gives you an idea where everything is at. So I do like that timestamp right there as well. Then you can highlight it by clicking Watch DFS Bachelor's Picks, put it in the lineup optimizer, use it in the cash game optimizer, the mass lineup generator. You can set your exposures there from the position optimizer so you can lineup generate exactly how you want everything to be. This is just an early look here. Let's take a look at what they gave us. So Chris Paul, Ricky Rubio, Jeremy Lamb, Tyler Hero going for some value at shooting guard there. I don't mind that. Will Barton, Gallinari, Zion, Kawhi, and Andre Drummond. That uses all your salary. I think that's fine for right now. Again, as news comes in throughout the day, things can certainly change. And these are just samples, by the way, as well. So, I'm not just saying lock this in and go to town. Title of the sex tape, there you go. So what they give us over here, Paul, Kobe White, Will Barton, Gallinari, Adebayo, Lamb, Saric, and Wiggins. See, I'll probably make a lot of changes to this. Like I could probably lock in Chris Paul and then regenerate that. So, SGA, Jeremy Lamb, Wiggins, Zion, Aldridge, Chris Paul, Saric, and Miles Turner. I don't mind that either. Now, I probably won't play both SGA and Chris Paul, so I would make a few changes over here. Let's see. Let's do something here a little different. Take a look at what we got. Like TJ McConnell, if we're looking for some value there at 4.9. DraftKings is much tougher. There's just not a lot of great value on DraftKings. They kind of burn us now. The pricing is very stingy over here on DraftKings. So a guy like Hero, if he does indeed have to start and play a ton of minutes with those injuries in Miami, let's just throw in TJ McConnell. Then we can kind of upgrade like Saric. Paschal at 5.3, my goodness. We can go DeAndre Hunter at 4.4, then we can upgrade Miles Turner. Even though I like that price for Miles Turner, so maybe let's upgrade Jeremy Lamb. Let's go from Jeremy Lamb to Jaylen Brown's looking questionable tonight, so we could go to you might see a ton of Marcus Smart, which could be interesting. We still have 1,200 we can upgrade, so if 6.4 for Zion does seem a little steep, we can get up to Oubre, a Hayward, a Gallinari, etc. Again, click the link, try it for 30 days for $1. Create your own lineups, compare your player pool to mine, etc. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, be part of our weekly $25 PayPal giveaway. Thank you all so much for watching. May the fantasy gods be with you. Cheers to you all. Enjoy your Friday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll see you tomorrow for our NBA videos on Saturday. A little couple bonus videos just to kind of make up for my erratic schedule lately. Appreciate you all again so much. Goodbye, folks.